Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade.
Where we talk about Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate Arcade.
I promise I won't.
Geekshow Baldur's Gate.
Unless you bring it up, then I'm
It's
gonna.
one of those
Then I'm
trigger
gonna.
words like crypto with Owen. Then
Yep.
once you
What do
say
you
it,
like
guys-
so much about Baldur's Gate, Owen?
That I play it. That I got into it. That I am forcing myself
go.
to play it. You did it,
Why
Jaren.
did you
go.
get on the
Revving
rabbit
up.
hole?
Look, here's the thing, Jaren. I obsess. I hyper focus. And you got the same thing out of me for 2 years with crypto. You don't want that. So let's just move along to the intros. Okay?
He's like a flywheel. Once that momentum starts
Just-
going, it just keeps going.
And it's
keeps
dangerous.
Going. It's very dangerous.
So,
All right, this is Geek Show Arcade, where we talk about video games and video game related things. Let's introduce our panelists. Kicking it off, coming up from air from the Baldur's Gate, it's Owen.
so
Read
yeah,
it.
follow me on. I think I heard this term in the Geek Show Helpdesk, but Twitter X. Twitter X. I'm gonna say that. Follow me on there at TechNoan or on Blue Sky at TechNoan.
All
That's
right.
it.
Next to him, the guy who doesn't really play many video games, but he's
That's-
here anyway. It's Lando.
Lando's got.
you
he's
just-
got his
you-
game corner.
You just said aloud what we were all thinking, Tony. We were all thinking it, myself included. I'm Lando, the guy who doesn't play very many video
But
games.
you used to work creating video games, so
Yeah.
I do have
Street
some street cred.
cred.
I do have a
Well-
Wii title with my credit.
Yep.
Thank you very
Whoa.
much.
That'll keep you going for quite a while.
Yeah. We will not talk about the quality of the game and how crappy
What
it
game
was.
is it?
Not at all.
What game is it?
Bigfoot Monster Truck Rally, Bigfoot, something like that.
that sounds pretty prestigious.
I'm gonna get it. Were you the vrooming noise? Were you like vroom vroom?
Might as well have been. It was so bad, guys.
that
It was
was-
so bad.
He was the voice credit for vrooming.
It was sponsored. It was a sponsored game for
Yeah.
the Bigfoot company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my name's Lando. I'm on Twitter. I'm on the Blue Skies, the X's, at Landon Conover. I don't do much.
There you go.
I'm boring and busy.
It's
And
true.
That's
adulting.
That's a
the
good
worst.
tagline. I'm Lando. I don't do much. I'm
boring
you know
and
what? I'm
busy.
stealing that. Never mind, Lando. I'm Owen. I don't do much.
Except for play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And then there's Jaren.
Hey, guys. And we got a host. His name is Tony.
Hey, check me out on Twitter at Quad T Tony or on Blue Sky at Quad T. All right, let's see. Have we got an email?
Yeah, we do. We got an email from
Okay.
our favorite guy, Lang. Surprise, surprise. For the awesome arcadesters, what is one of your favorite memories playing games in a group setting? Mine is Sigh. This will date me way back. Mortal Kombat 2 and Super Street Fighter in my pre-balding millennial years at friends' houses. First rule of fighting games, loser always passes the paddle. I couldn't
Yep.
figure the Hadouken for the life of me. I was a Sonic Boom kind of fighter. Coming to downtown near you, Lang.
He definitely couldn't figure out the Hadouken in Mortal Kombat because that's a Street Fighter move. So yeah,
That
Isn't
explains
Sonic
it.
Boom a Street Fighter
Also-
move too?
Guile. I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's Guile because that's my guy.
Yep.
Yep. Let's see. I had some really good times with Super Smash Brothers on the N64. I think
So good.
for at least for me, and maybe this is because of my age or what, but N64 for me was the pinnacle of multiplayer gaming.
Yes, me too.
It was all couch co-op, obviously at the time, because there was no real console internet gaming, and just had so much fun with GoldenEye,
For me, it
Dark,
was Mario Kart. I played
Mario
Kart.
Yep, Mario
so
Party,
much.
Smash Brothers, and the fact that the N64 came with 4 controller ports, it was the first one to come with 4 controller ports.
Yeah.
You knew it was time to play with friends. So
Yeah. Mine was before the days of laptop gaming at all. Right. Laptops were really just corporate. Was taking your entire tower. And
LAN
going and
party.
playing, and doing
Oh, I
and
did that.
playing StarCraft, StarCraft 2, and everybody hooks up to just a dumb like D-Link switch, and
Yep.
everybody's lugging their CRT monitors and their
Yeah,
big
baby.
old, and you're placing them on like plywood like boards that are bowing, and anyway,
Yeah,
you just
or
you
a
know,
freaking like TV tray, TV dinner tray.
yeah, and you're just like,
Yeah.
as long as nothing touches this, it shouldn't collapse.
Fine.
So
Careful. Don't trip.
Yeah.
I've got a couple. One is Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast.
What a great game.
We played that like crazy. Super Smash Brothers, Nintendo 64. My friend's house had that. I had the Dreamcast. He had the N64. So when we were there, we played that. And then we did LAN parties at my house. We played Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight 2. We did all-nighters like 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
Literally staying up all night. It was amazing.
Passing out in the chair. Just
Yeah. Yep. Being completely worthless the next day. It was wonderful.
Those were the days.
that hasn't changed for me.
No, I'm just like
Completely worthless all the time.
just filled with nostalgia now and longing for days that probably weren't as awesome as I remember them to be. But
Yes, they were.
I
You
think
had no
they were.
responsibility.
from
Yeah.
this perspective, they sure were.
You have to pay any bills?
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay any bills.
Nope.
Good times.
Didn't have to worry about kids or a job
Oh.
or
I
an
still
important
don't have
job,
to worry
rather.
about
Now I'm
kids.
depressed. Thanks, Jaron.
Yeah, anytime.
I'm all poopy now. I don't like it.
All right. Thanks for writing in, Lang. Let's see. Okay, the big news. The big news of the week. It is done.
I need to post
Finally.
that. I need to post that Matrix meme. You know, the one where the giant computer head goes, "It is done."
Yep.
After it's done.
It is done. Microsoft and Activision Blizzard have finalized their deal. Microsoft and Activision, or Microsoft now wholly owns Activision Blizzard. King, don't forget about King, the mobile
Man.
games.
The money printing.
That I was going to say,
Studio?
it makes a lot of money.
Holy cow!
Last week, the CMA in the UK said they're fine with it, and within it was like under 24 hours, Microsoft and Activision finalized
Inked
their
the
deal.
deal. Yeah,
Inked
they were
the
like,
deal,
of
and
course.
it's done. So that is.
Did we find out
done?
what the? Did we already talk about what the deal? What the? Did they have to secede some of their cloud claiming stuff?
Yep, we talked
Yeah.
about that. It was
Yeah.
Ubisoft has exclusive streaming
That's right. They had to
rights
offload that to
for
Ubisoft.
all of the Activision Blizzard games
Right.
for like the next 10 years or yeah, I think it's for the next 10 years.
Did
anyway.
What did we talk about King making every year? Is it in the billions?
Oh yeah. For
Okay, so
sure.
it's like,
At least
does it
it was
pay-
for a while. I don't know
Just
if it still
with
is.
King, just with King, don't they pay this off in like?
Oh man.
What,
You know?
69 years? Because it was $69 billion.
Or they and King only makes $1 billion a year?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know
this
what it is
this
now.
graphic where it shows the Xbox first party studios and the organization and all the different pillars of their like Xbox, Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, King, and all the studios and employees and like
Yeah.
holy cow! I'm
It's
looking at this.
massive.
It's just like
There's the
this
FTC
is crazy.
still. The FTC is still salty about it too. They still
Oh yeah,
said
for sure.
they still said this is not a good idea, and they put out on their website. They now have posted, like
They can't
some
do
finger
anything about
shaking.
it, though.
No,
They already lost all their stuff.
including
They should concentrate on Google and Amazon. Come on.
including any
Yeah.
credibility.
Uh-huh.
And after those court trials, any credibility they had, they also lost
Exactly.
that,
oh
so
man.
So this purchase going through puts Microsoft as now the third largest gaming company by revenue, behind Tencent and the people that complained about this the most, Sony.
yeah.
They're
Sony has-
they're still not
Yeah.
as big as Sony, and Sony was like, eh. But
I can't believe Sony would do that. Like, that would be a monopoly when there's only room for one of us.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a graphic on this article that shows all of the different studios that Xbox owns or Microsoft owns now, and the list is
Massive.
massive. There's a few obvious heavy hitters in there that you're going to see and be like, oh yeah, but they also own quite a number of like middle size and small development teams that put out really good stuff.
Well, not only that, but the amount of IP on here is insane.
Huge.
Did they list?
Absolutely
Did they
huge.
list all the IP on that chart?
No,
Okay.
just
Well, you could infer the IP. On
Because
Yeah.
Phil Spencer has already said that he's already looking at some of their shelved archived IP to
oh yeah.
revive
He'd be
to
silly
revive
not
it.
to,
Yeah.
and then this dovetails into the other story I have here about this, so we might as well just go into that. Phil Spencer has already stated, because everyone's bothering him on the Twitter X now.
course.
When are we getting Call of Duty
People-
on Game Pass? When are we
people
getting
also
Diablo
started-
4 on Game Pass? Blah blah blah.
Well, they
blah,
also
blah.
started speculating. They're like, they'll probably do something for a commencement launch. Like
some sort of secret drop
Yeah.
of hey guys, check out what's on Game Pass. Phil Spencer says nope.
No, absolutely not.
There will be nothing from the Activision Blizzard deal will change Game Pass lineup this year for 2023.
Bethesda had something
2024.
within a couple days, though, right? Like, or 2-3 after the deal.
They did, but it was. I mean, it wasn't like a huge. I think it was like the old Doom games were on there. You know, which
Phil Spencer stated in that article. Phil Spencer stated, "Look, we didn't know if the deal was even going to go through up until the last minute, so we didn't start any work on doing anything like to bringing these into Game Pass."
Now so they did do a little bit, or at least I should say Activision did a little bit. I saw a video of this and it was freaking rad. One of the Call of Duty skins and weapons that was added to Warzone is the Doom chainsaw and the Doom super shotgun. It's in Call of Duty Warzone now.
Sweet.
And not only is it just the model of the gun and the chainsaw, but it's like a pixelized, older looking version of it, and the frame rate is all choppy, just like it was. Like
He probably just took that sprite and just put it right in.
it is polygonal. It is a 3D model, but it looks pixelized on the
Polygonal?
texture
Is that
and
a
everything
word?
like that.
Polygonal.
Polygonal, I guess.
Polygonal.
I think
That's a
it's
word.
polygonal. Yeah,
Yeah, it's polygonal.
but I saw that the other day and I thought that was pretty rad. And it's just seeing them use the super shotgun in the game. It fires both barrels at once, just like on Doom. Then it's like this clunky, like skipped frame, break open the release, pop the shells out, put the new shells in. It's
That's
all
awesome.
chunk, chunk, chunk. Oh man, it was cool. So anyway,
Well, Activision games may not be coming to Game Pass yet, but Deadspace Remake is on Game Pass
is it
in
really?
a couple weeks. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So
I recommend
fantastic
that.
game that came out this year,
Yeah.
beginning of this year. Will be on Game Pass before Halloween. Good time to play it. Give it a look.
It was. What did I give that? I think I gave it a 9 out of 10, even despite a few technical issues. It's one of the best remakes I think anyone's put out in quite a while, if ever. Fantastic remake of Dead Space. Let's see. Also looking really cool and out of left field. I'm glad you put this on here, Jaron. The RoboCop game is actually looking really cool.
Yeah, like I didn't hear anything about this until just recently. There was a demo up on Steam. I wish I would have downloaded it. But it's called RoboCop Rogue City. It comes out in November. It uses Unreal Engine 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Unreal Engine 5.
But it seems to be mostly stutter-free in the demo. It did have stutters, but they patched it. They fixed it.
Yep.
But it looks friggin' awesome. It has Peter Weller's voice.
And likeness.
And
the original RoboCop from the 1980s movies.
And graphics look nice. And the gameplay looks really cool.
So have you watched Digital Foundry's, what do you call it, their DF Direct this week?
Yeah.
John talked about it and said it played really well.
It has like a targeting reticle, just like in the movie. The mechanics are really good. The headshots are very
Headshotty.
explosive.
Satisfying.
It's not a review of the full game yet, but early impressions look good. Keep an eye on this one for when reviews do come out.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I saw stuff on this one about a year ago, but I immediately dismissed it as, it's more
More crappy RoboCop.
yeah, more crappy RoboCop or more crappy what do they call that? Not franchised, but what's the licensed, more licensed junk, The team that made this made the Terminator Salvation game. I think it's Terminator Salvation. Anyway, a couple years ago, and that one was that's where I should have kept paying attention to this, because that game is actually pretty decent. And as far as licensed games goes, it's actually quite good. But yeah, it looks like they're going to hit this one out of the park. So
they have two versions on Steam right now. They got
Oh, is it still up?
well, no. They're now that the
No.
now the beta's down, they have you can pre-purchase RoboCop Rogue City or RoboCop Rogue City Alex Murphy edition.
Yeah, it's the deluxe edition. It has some
Yeah.
extra skins and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, very cool. All right, let's see. Let's talk about corporate greed. I mean, inflation. Nvidia GeForce now raising its prices in Europe.
They are, and I feel like this is soon to follow for our market, but
Probably.
right after their announcement that they are streaming through Game Pass, right? They got the Game Pass library.
Yep.
They went up quite a bit, 20 to 40%, depending on what tier you're on.
Oof.
So yeah, some of 40%. I let's just call that 50% and say you're
Yeah.
paying almost half as much again. So it's crazy. They're doing this in Canada, but more in the European Union is where this is hitting first. So here's the price is they had a founders, what they call it, founders membership price, and that was $4.99 per month. And when it started, people were like, I don't know, like this, what does this really give you? But if you got in on that price at $4.99, you're grandfathered in all the way through to
nice.
what they're calling their premium founders membership. So that was their founders, the initial founders price, and now if you stay with them, they've got the priority subscription goes from $9.99 to $14, so $13.99. And so the priority plan will give you $70, 6 months for $70, which is up 40%. And the
Wow.
monthly rate for the ultimate tier is going from $19 to $25.
26.
So $20 to $26. And the equivalent the 6th month goes to $140 instead of $99. So
That's
it's
a hefty price jump.
it's a hefty price jump. They say the increase of the old continent. Jaren, you're the most traveled, or at least to me you are. These guys probably are too. What's the old continent?
That's Europe.
Yep.
The EU. Oh, the EU is not old continent.
EU
Huh?
is Europe.
It says because yeah, so it says the prices are set to go across the European Union. Oh, I see. The old continent and the European Union are the same thing.
That's what we said.
Are you okay, Owen?
Nope. I smell toast.
I was going to say, do you smell toast?
I smell toast. I heard that coming.
I can literally see your brain
Yeah,
working.
They had
like churning
the
along.
just
Like I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. Like
I got a
Is he
loose.
joking right now?
I got to be
I feel
fair.
uncomfortable.
To be fair, they've got the commas in very awkward places
fair.
in that sentence. But now I see
I will-
that they're saying.
I will read
they
the
first
sentence.
they say it. No, you don't need to do that. Let's not.
The GeForce Now
You don't need to do
rates
this.
are also set to go up across the European Union,
Comma.
although the increase on the old continent appears to be less significant.
That seems
ranging
like it's
from
talking
10 to
about two
20%.
separate places. Why didn't they just say the European Union? They had to be all wordy and be like, "Oh,
Spice it up.
This guy was like, "Oh, European Union," but let me flex my dictionary skills.
I
The
think
old
they meant
continent.
Africa, Owen, because that's where humans originated.
Dude, you know what? That makes more sense. I'll allow it. Just saying. You missed the.
man.
Now let me read it. The GeForce Now rates are also set to go up across the European Union, although the increase on the old continent appear to be less significant. There's a comma after European Union that makes you pause there, and then it seems to change the subject to old continent, which I did not know was the same place because I'm not smart. I'll admit that. But I'm just saying, it's not all me. I'll take a lot of blame. I'll take 90.
Wow, he's still going. Can't believe it.
97,
Just let him go.
happening?
97% of the blame there. But that comma accounts for 3%. There we go.
All right, so GeForce prices are going up in Europe.
I get whatever. Yeah, I
aka
guess.
the old
Whatever.
continent.
We got
Yeah.
a whole lot more from that story than I was anticipating.
Yeah, we did.
And Canada. The other old continent,
And expect-
Canada.
The other, look, you know what? They're all old continents. They've all been around for millions of years. So
The same amount of time.
I posit that sentence is ridiculous in its entirety. Old continent. They're all old continents.
Okay.
Are we
Just
done?
move. Yeah, let's be done
Anyway.
with. Let me get it.
Thank
Let me go. Just let me
we
lay
have-
down and squiggle away.
Have an article by Lando that is also on Jaren's list. Oh, did you take it off your list?
I took it
Jaren?
off because
Oh,
Lando
okay.
didn't have a
I
story.
was gonna say we'll give it to Lando.
Thank you, Jaron.
so-
So
Here you go.
everyone, we talk about Minecraft an awful lot, especially Owen and I, because we love the game. It's a fun game. And sometimes I've been worried in the past, like, is this a big enough game to talk about? Turns out it's a big enough game to talk about.
Does Minecraft have an old continent? Because
You know what?
if it does, I
don't-
mean,
Too soon, Tony.
I
oh,
don't.
sorry.
You know, we let it go. We said we're gonna let Owen slide off into the shadows, lick his wounds,
Yeah, just
You know?
let it go.
Lick is what?
wounds,
Oh.
wounds, my grammatical wounds, and apparently intellectual. Okay, I get it. Fine, whatever. Anyway, why is Minecraft a big deal, Landon?
So not only has it been around for 15 years, it has also sold more than 300 million copies.
Do you think
That
that's
is a
just from
lot.
age? Do you think that's just from age though? Like just it's like The
No,
Simpsons
it's
on being
also
on
from
season
popularity.
400.
So to put it in perspective, Grand Theft Auto is not even a close second at 185 million copies.
That's
Wonder
the
if they
next. The
That's
next,
the next
most.
most sold game.
Wow.
I wonder if they're
Crazy,
counting.
right?
I wonder if they're counting schools in that. You know, all these schools
I'm
that got
sure most
Bedrock,
Well, yeah.
Education Edition that has gone to like thousands of schools.
I'm sure they're counting any number they can.
Yeah,
300
still,
million
300
copies,
million.
though. You think about that. That's like almost the population of the U.S. What are we at now in the U.S.? I remember back.
Quick, Google
back
it.
330, I
cared.
think.
We were at like 260, and it's gone up from then.
And it's been 100 million in the past 3 years. So they
Oh, I was
passed
right. 331 million.
wow. So almost one for every person in the U.S.
does that coincide with when Microsoft acquired Mojang in this last whatever years? How long has Microsoft had Mojang?
About
That's a
5
good
years.
question. I don't know.
Feels like
Now,
since it got
longer
on.
than that.
Is it longer than 5 years?
I don't know. I haven't been playing Minecraft myself for that long, so I don't know. I'm a relatively new convert to the Minecraft ways.
2014.
So
yeah.
Really? So
It's
9
been almost
years.
10 years, yeah.
Wow.
But you think of the different iterations the game has had. You had the Java version, which was the original, and then
Which
you
is
had
still
the
around.
Yeah, which is still around, and you have the newer versions that are based on the Bedrock stuff. But there was also mobile versions. Are there still
Yep.
mobile versions? Can you still
Yeah.
play it on your phone?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder
I play
how
all the time.
many how many
Pocket?
of those were repeat purchases on different platforms.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
A
there's
lot
some of that for sure.
A lot of
Pocket.
people, want to play it on their phones, even though they have it on their.
They call
Xbox.
that the Pocket Edition. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think they've actually discontinued the quote unquote Pocket Edition, and now they've moved it as part of the Bedrock Edition. So
Yeah.
if you play it on Xbox phones,
PC.
you can get Bedrock version on PC, but you can also get Java version on PC too. So
I
there
think-
is some versioning issues with Minecraft that's always fun to navigate.
I wonder which one.
yeah.
I'll bet Bedrock has more users than Java.
I would
Java-
bet so too.
Java has the hardcore.
The OGs.
Like, yeah, I since I've been running this server that we run for everybody, I've had to do a lot of that, like finding out what's different between,
The two versions.
between Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock. Many times I've built a farm or something and been like, this only works in Java.
Oof.
Because there's one part, because there's some really critical parts, particularly around redstone, which I've really gotten into, that only work in Java. So they call it, I mean, the hardcore people out there will insist that Java is its own version. It's not just an edition like Java Edition. It's a completely different version of the game. So
It's kind of confusing, unfortunately, and I wish I don't think they'll ever be able to, but I wish they could like coincide on one version and kind of get rid of the other version. But I don't think that's ever going to happen just because the way the community works right
I
now.
thought about spinning up another one and having it be the same, and then putting like running a Bedrock and a Java version in case people want to
That's
play.
too much work.
It's too much work, and I
Yeah.
ran out of Ritalin, and that idea died on the vine.
Died on the vine.
Rowan went back to his cage where
Yep.
he should be.
Well, speaking of things dying on the vine, the new Intel CPUs are pretty much dead on the vine.
One word, woof.
Woof.
Did they
Whoops.
screw up this one? They're basically the 13th gen core processors, but with a 14 tacked on it. Essentially no change, unless it's the 13700K where they add 4 additional efficiency cores. But those efficiency cores don't really affect gaming benchmarks at all. And since we're talking about this on a gaming-focused podcast, it's pretty much a failure across the board. So unless you're paying the exact same price as 13th gen, don't buy the 14th gen processors.
It's
like
the same processor.
it is. We're talking like 2 or 3 frames difference on like Borderlands 3, the 13900K. Let me make that big in it. 189 frames per second versus 192 for the 14900K.
That's
Give us a percentage.
That's margin of error.
That's
basically.
margin of error. Like you can pick up a better binned 13900K and probably get that type of margin of error right there. So the 7800 X3D, 79 and 7950 X3D, they're wiping the floor with these Intel chips as far as gaming goes. And since they've been out for a couple months now, you can pick them up for not that much compared to...
Micro Center had a deal, which I wish we had a Micro Center here in town.
Oh,
In
how I
Northern Utah.
long in my groin for Micro Center.
Loins, yes.
Groin. Loins? No, I meant groin.
You can.
I guess it's,
urinate your groin. I suppose.
yeah.
It's the same.
that's
They're
true.
close. They're close.
They're pretty close, but they had a deal for like 2 days or maybe a day, but I doubt it lasted that long because it probably ran out of stock. 7800 X3D for $299.
Oh, dude, I would have. That's my buy price right there.
Oh man,
Oh, that is so
that's
cheap.
and that chip sits at almost all the gaming benchmarks, even with these.
Except Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, except Final Fantasy 14, the 7800X sits at the top of the heap. You get the best performance out of, and you can find that one for a regular price on that one for under 400, like
Yeah.
360, 380 around there.
Yep. These reviews of these new Intel chips have made me want the 7800 X3D more than ever.
Same.
This is how bad this product launch has been.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. We talked about this actually
What sock?
about
What's
2 months ago. It's the
It
same
was a
socket.
rumor, and I didn't
It's
believe it because it
AM4?
was so bad.
Yeah, AM4, no,
AM4?
AM5 for the
AM5.
7800 X3D. Yeah, so we talked about this a couple months ago when MSI accidentally leaked the new chips on one of their streams that they were doing, talking about their gaming motherboards. And I think a lot of people like you, Jaron, didn't believe that it would be that bad. And nope, they were 100% accurate on those leaked leaked information. This is Intel. This is a joke, if you ask me.
It's bad.
To release now. To be fair, they aren't bad. Thank you. They aren't bad CPUs, but to call them a new generation is
It's
completely ridiculous, and it is, in my opinion, lying to the customer at this point.
It is. They should have done like a 13900KS or whatever rather than
Yeah.
calling it 14th gen. It's bad.
Because it is exactly the same chip, except for the i5 is exactly the same. The i9 is exactly the same with, and I think they both have 100 megahertz boost higher.
Which you could easily accomplish on
could
your existing
overclock on your-
13th gen
Yep.
chip.
I've
And
seen the memes where people are comparing this to the iPhone, the new iPhone 2, where they're just like, look, you didn't make a new iPhone? okay, just put the new one out with a new number. You
Just
know,
put, yeah,
like
put the same one out with a new number.
yeah, put it out.
Yep. So crazy stuff. So buyer beware for sure on those. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple of reviews. Let's do those. Do you want to review the controller first, Owen, or do you want to do a full review of Immortals of Aveum, Jaren? Who's first? Owen,
Go,
go
Owen.
first.
Go, I'll go. So I got the the
Xbox
Gamesir,
controller.
the
Oh.
Gamesir Cyclone. Does it look just like an Xbox controller?
Yeah, it does.
Look at that! Look at that bad boy.
It's not a bad thing. I love the Xbox
Yeah,
controller.
it's
It's
the
great.
best shaped controller on the
So
market.
it's a little bit lighter, which made me initially feel like it was a little bit cheaper. You know, as one does, it feels you feel it, but it's not. Like it's pretty durable. USB-C to charge it.
How is the plastic feel?
So they have this cross-cut type of texture. And it took me a minute to get used to that. That's nice on your palms. They also put that on around the buttons for the joysticks, and that really messed with me because I'm used to smoother on the
that's,
Xbox.
well, that's how the you probably can't see it in the camera, but that's how the Elite controller is.
Yeah.
The around the edge of the thumbstick pad is textured.
Yeah, this one is. That took me a little bit getting used to. So that was all. No drift, no anything like that. I saw some. I think Jaren posted some of those. There were some pretty bad reviews. People just being like, whatever. I love it for what I do with gaming. So I played some Halo. It's really responsive. So the only thing that bugged me is I was looking forward in Halo to do some extra button mappings because I don't have the Pro controller, and one of the things in my controller that is just built into my DNA is that the slide in Halo is a left thumb stick press
Click. Yeah.
instead of and I always end up messing that up and like looking down while I do it because I'm
Right.
usually sliding when I'm scared. And so there's, when I'm running away. And so so I was looking forward to mapping some buttons. And this is probably, I mean, as far as controllers go, the charge time, I got it out of the box, didn't charge it, just let what they had. And that was a little bit drained, I could tell. It lasted for 8 hours.
Wow.
I mean, a long time. Like I
You're
played
already-
Baldur's Gate. I played Baldur's Gate. I played I played some Halo, and then finally I was like, "What's going on? How come I can't finish this fight in Baldur's Gate?" Oh, my controller turned off. So,
Yeah. Been there.
but
Does it have rechargeable batteries?
it does. It's USB-C rechargeable.
Hmm.
And also
That's cool.
instead of using just Bluetooth, which is a problem for me, it also comes with a dongle that you can plug in wirelessly. So I've been truly disconnected for the first time because I have one of the old Xbox One controllers, and so it has a micro USB, and for whatever reason the Bluetooth just constantly disconnects. So that's been really cool, but I want to do some button mapping, and here's my problem with the button mapping. They have you go get a Google app. Actually, first, hold on. Let me get
A Google app.
let me give
You
you
mean an app from Google?
Whoa, look at all.
What is
look, that is
that?
the biggest
What is
instruction paper
This
I've ever
is
seen.
the instructions
It
with
is-
every language
How many-
conceivable.
Yeah.
I didn't count them, but it's a lot. And in order to do the button mapping, you have to do these key presses in order.
Oh, no.
And my ADHD was just not going to allow that. I'm sorry. It's just not going to allow that. It was just, I looked at it and it said, that won't be happening. I don't know what you think you're doing.
Nope.
So then I looked at the fine print because I was like, oh, Jaren would say, did you read all the directions? And so I did read all the directions, and there's an app for it.
Why
so
would I
thought,
say that?
you would. You just
You
would.
would say that.
You would say that. Did you read
I
the
don't read the
I don't think
directions.
so. Yeah.
RTFM, bro? Read paragraph
Oh,
3.
Jaren
That all
has said
came
that.
from those.
Yep.
Those are
Only to
coined
make
from.
fun of you. It's not like I actually believe in it.
I think you do. Anyway, so there's an app, and they're like, "Hey, scan this barcode and it'll take you to the Play Store." And they've got an iPhone app. The iPhone app is there. The Google app has been removed.
Ah.
The Google app has been yanked down. No reason. It's just not there.
Gone.
And so Then they're like, they know that because they're like, so the link doesn't work in the instructions, the QR code. And then, then you go to their site, which is a Hong Kong domain, excuse me.
Amazing.
And it's like gamesir.hk. And I'm like,
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Just
I want you to tell me what's wrong with that.
it gets shadier. I get
Why?
weirded out when they don't get domain names that are like a .com or a .org or a trusted one for a business. Like that's weird. Like that's the app's already removed from.
HK is bad because it's weird.
He's right.
It's bad because it's uncommon, and that
Yep.
throws red flags. And
Don't
especially
you know
with the
anything
app,
about security, Jaron?
especially with the app being yanked out of the Google store with no reason, like it's just not there. And you can go go Google it, which is what I did, and it took me to the store. And it's like, oh yeah, here, click here, and then you go to click on it, it takes you to the Play Store, and then it's
no.
just nothing. So then they're like on their website, they're like, download this GitHub repository and sideload it onto your computer.
Oh,
or
there
on-
be dragons.
Yeah, so
Yes.
they're like, get this thing and download it onto your Android phone and install it and allow all the permissions. And that's when I just went, I don't need to slide that much in Halo, because you can't install it.
There's no PC app.
No, that's what it was. It wasn't a mobile app. It was a PC app. The GitHub repository was for a
Oh,
PC app, and I
that's-
had to install it on
That's
my
pretty
PC.
standard.
I
I
just-
use
I
GitHub
don't-
all the time for downloading.
I just, yeah.
You gotta be
I just-
careful.
I
You
just-
gotta be careful.
I don't want to get Tony'd, if you know.
I
what
was
mean.
gonna say, down this path lies losing all your crypto.
Exactly.
Out of your
Like
wallet.
I have my
Bye-bye.
I don't use
Just-
my gaming
Just
computer
scan
for
it
much.
with Microsoft Defender. No big deal.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that.
Do you trust Microsoft that much?
Or so it remaps the button and saves it to the memory on the controller, right?
Yeah, it does. That's
so
what it does.
what you could do to get around this is use a crappy laptop.
Yep, I'm gonna
that
use
doesn't have any
sacrificial.
information on it,
Yep.
and then
Or
when
get
you've
your wife's
done-
iPhone.
That's what I'll do.
Oh yeah, use
Her
your wife's
iPhone.
iPhone.
That's what I'll
Yep.
do. Because Apple actually, I mean, as much as I rip on them for not allowing side-loaded stuff, they are
This
pretty
is
strict
why.
about it.
So does it come with a phone holder? Because I see there's an attachment on top of it to
no.
attach like a clamp.
Yeah, it doesn't come with that. So
Okay.
not in the box. So
How
but
are
yeah,
the face buttons? Are they mushy or are they clicky?
like the XYBAs?
XY, yeah.
A, B, X, Y, yeah.
They're good. They're not mushy. I mean, they feel just like an Xbox controller to me. So is that
Nice.
I don't know what mushy versus clicky.
All right,
but
so not cheap plastic. Buttons are
Not-
good.
Yep.
Hall effect sensors
Hall
and the
effect
joystick
sensors.
and
Joystick
okay.
and triggers.
You know, one of my biggest muscle memory things has been trying to hit the pause button though. They elevated them just slightly. up to
Oh
here.
yeah, they're higher
They-
than on the Xbox.
And so I've been hitting
Pushing
the wrong
just-
spot.
blank plastic.
And I'm
area.
like, "Arrgh," when I want to exit a game or save scum. You know how much you save scum
So
in
much.
Baldur's Gate?
all the time.
It's been like I keep being like, I missed it, and I have
Maybe
to like
the most
look.
Owen problem I've ever heard.
It
in my
is.
entire life.
It is. It's a real consumer review right here. Picked it up for $53 after everything. So it came out to like $53, and I don't even care. I mean, it's a good enough improvement over my Xbox controller that I am impressed. I don't have the Pro though, so
No, that is
you
the
got-
Pro.
Well, not the elite.
I don't-
Oh,
I mean,
you
I
mean
don't
the
have-
Elite?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the Elite Xbox.
Well, you're
controllers.
paying 4 times as much for the Elite.
True.
You know, if
So-
you want the one with the button, with the paddles and everything, it's like $180. So.
But yeah, it lights up. It's good. It connects with the wireless dongle. It I mean, it's really responsive. I went and played Halo. I had like I don't know if I think I posted this in our Slack, but I had one of the worst matches I've ever had because I was trying to like mess around and really test all the buttons and really test all the responsiveness. I think it was like 4 and 16. My own team members came after me and like started like trying to melee me after we lost and stuff. Like, it was bad. It was a bad match. I'm gonna check
a little
my
PTSD from
I'm gonna go check. Yeah,
old Halo
yeah.
matches.
I'm gonna go check my messages and see if I got any of those. You shouldn't play anymore.
You should stop playing this game.
You should not play this game anymore. So, but I mean, as far as it goes, I think it's worth $50 easy. It feels the paddles underneath are here, I don't know if that's where they are on the elites.
Yeah, they're right around that area.
Yeah, there's only 2 though. Is there 4 on the back
There's
of the elite?
4 on the
Yeah.
elite, but I mean, I only use 2.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I know there's people out there that definitely use all 4.
So I didn't trust their app on my gaming computer because I also have my crypto wallets on there because it is my most secure computer in the house as far as who can get on it and what I do on it. So, but that's my plan, is to use a sacrificial machine, of which I have a plethora, to try out the app. It got fishy, and the fact that it was deleted off the Android market and things made me
enough red flags to be
raised your hackles.
Raised my hackles a little bit, but that's Jaren's idea is good too. I might just go snag my wife's iPhone and have her do it.
Especially
that way.
if it saves it to the memory of the controller, you'll never have to do it
one
again.
and done.
Yep.
So
Just
change your controller thumbsticks to the paddles on the bottom.
But I'm gonna give it a 9, 8.5, 9.
Nice.
I mean, the only thing I don't like is it does feel a little bit lighter than a normal controller, and the app issues. So it's pretty good, worth the money, I would say, if you're looking.
Some
to upgrade.
people would like the lightness. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
true.
less hand
Some people.
strain.
Yeah.
True.
All right, Jaron, Immortals of Aveum, you've played it a lot more than the last time you reviewed it, and now you have a fuller review.
I have a fuller review, and to be fair warned, I did not finish because of technical issues. I'll get into that in a bit.
Dang it.
But what I did play, I actually really enjoyed it. The story, it's fantasy with a mix of modernism and like technology, kind of, but
I like
more
that.
cool story. It has what's her name from Firefly? I don't remember.
Well, she's been in a lot of stuff, and I can't remember her name. I'm looking it up right now. She's way cool, though. She's in Destiny.
Yeah. I mean, the acting is good. The story, it's fine. It's good enough. The characters,
Gina Torres.
Yeah, Gina Torres. The characters are fun. I enjoy the conversations the characters have. Really, that's what I like. That's why I like Uncharted so much, because of the banter. It's got good banter. Gameplay, like I said previously, it's kind of Metroidvania-ish, mixed with a first-person shooter with some slight RPG elements. So there's a nice upgrade path, actually. A lot of things to upgrade. I actually think they're pretty good upgrades. It's not like lame upgrades.
Feels like you're actually making a difference when you choose an upgrade path. Nice.
Like lame upgrades, I would say, are like Tomb Raider upgrades, where it feels like everything you do is just barely moves the needle. Whereas like this, you can actually fly for a little bit, which is cool. You can get like this giant hook shot thingy. Grapple. There we go.
There you go.
Big upgrades to weapons, upgrades to your like core abilities that allow you to visit other areas, stuff like that. A la Metroidvania. So cool there. Combat is actually really fun. I think this is my favorite part of the game. It's really fun combat. There's a lot of different things you could do to mix it up. You can do there's a lot of abilities you can upgrade, so you're more of a close combat kind of guy, kind of like Doom Eternal, or you can pick people off from afar. There's bosses, which are moderately fun. One thing I would suggest, though, if you play this game, set it to hard. There's 3 settings: easy, medium, hard. Set it to hard. Medium is way too easy.
Huh.
Yeah, and I am normally not a play it on hard type of guy, but putting it on hard improved the fun factor quite a bit. Yeah, indeed.
Is there stealth? Is there any stealth mechanics?
No stealth.
Not really? Okay.
No.
Just curious.
Yep, it's going with guns ablazing and punching people in the gonads type of thing.
Do you typically play and think that normal difficulty is like where the developers intended you to enjoy the game?
That's what I always assume, so that's what I go with.
Yeah.
I very rarely choose easy, but I never choose hard, except for this game.
How about the technical difficulties?
Yeah, that was my main problem with this game. For one, you need a really beefy system to play it if you play it on PC. It does Unreal 5, and it's kind of they're at a disadvantage here because they're the first third-party game to use Unreal 5 with like all the main features, and so you need a good CPU and a very modern GPU to run this. They added FSR3 later, so it has it now. So that helps if you have like a 6000 or 7000 series AMD card.
Does it have
So
DLSS 3?
It does, yeah. Okay. So if you're rocking like a 3000 series NVIDIA or a 6000, 7000 series AMD, I think you'll be fine. You might have to turn down settings, which is fine because it still looks good. But my main problem was that it crashes whenever my NVIDIA drivers update. Ugh. And the first time I tried a lot of things, couldn't get it to work. Eventually I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, and that kept me going for a while until the new drivers I installed made it crash again on launch. I think it has to do with the shader cache, so I'm going to try deleting the shader cache this time to see if I can get it to work. But it got to the point where I got 50% through the game, and I just couldn't progress because I couldn't get into the freaking game. Yeah. They need to fix that. If you play it on Series X or PS5, I don't think you have to worry about that. It's just the resolution is kind of low on those, but the graphics are pretty. I would recommend it. My only main complaint gameplay-wise is the training part of the game is way too long. It's like 4 or 5 hours.
What?
No. Sorry. It's like 2 hours when it really should be like 30 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours is still long.
Yeah. It's quite a long time until you're like finally on your own doing missions and stuff like that. So that was my main complaint. It's not like I disliked the training part. It just was too long.
The only time a 2-hour training tutorial or whatever is warranted is if the game has like super deep mechanics. You know, like Baldur's Gate 3 could probably benefit from a 2-hour tutorial where they show you the mechanics as you go through the first 2 hours. But
this is like a 20-hour game, which isn't bad. I like that length of game quite a bit, but too long of training for that. And when I say training, I mean like the intro mission, all the story at the beginning, really to the point where you're finally in the main game. It takes like 2 hours. So after all that, like if I didn't have technical issues, I would probably rate this game like 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoy it.
Nice.
It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but
have to pick it up when it's cheaper and
like for me, it's kind of like it's just a fun game. I don't have to think too much about, and the combat's fun. So, and it's really in a setting that I like. But with the technical issues, 7 out of 10, maybe 6.5, just because I can't get the game to run at the moment.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. Quick lightning round, and we're gonna call it a day. N64 emulator has appeared. It's broken cover, and it's not just any old N64 emulator this time. It's from Analog, who specializes in FPGA hardware emulation and using the original cartridges of the systems that they're emulating. So this looks pretty cool. It's called the Analog 3D, and it basically you toss your N64 cartridge in there like you would any other N64, and you play N64 games at 4K.
That's awesome.
Interesting. How much does this cost?
They have not given a price yet, nor a release date. They're just saying that they're working on it. It's Analog, so it's going to be kind of pricey. They historically, they've been probably plan on $200-$250 for this machine.
They teased a controller for it too, which has me interested because I hate the N64 controllers so much.
There's actually several. Trident. I don't want to say several. There is one company out there making N64 controllers now that are actually making really good controllers. I have a couple of them myself. Cool. I have a couple of wired ones, and they made a wireless one for the N64 that just plugs straight into the N64.
Like the Wavebird for the GameCube.
Yeah, but for the N64.
That's cool.
It's actually really neat stuff. So
And Analog is also doing cool CRT emulation too.
Yep.
So you can make it look like it was supposed to look like on a
Back in
flat
the day.
screen TV. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, very very cool stuff right there. No price yet for sure, like we said, but I'll follow this, and when it does show up, we'll keep you updated. What makes it just neat is because the N64 is historically quite hard to emulate because it's such kind of weird hardware. So
had a
to
weird
have
turbo, it had a weird turbo, right, or something like that.
it's got like it's got a really odd CPU that came out with it back in the day, and then it also had a coprocessor from Silicon Graphics.
Right.
Those
And
co-processors always go well.
yeah, exactly. And that was one of the things that made it harder to develop for than what they would have hoped back in the day. So cool stuff. We'll keep you updated. I'm excited to see where this goes. Jaren, you got a story.
Yeah, if you have an AMD card, do not enable anti-lag plus because you can get banned from your favorite multiplayer games.
They look at it as cheat, like it catches the cheat flag. On
Yeah, on the
anti-cheat.
Counter-Strike official Twitter account, it says, if you are an AMD customer and play CS2, do not enable anti-lag plus.
What does that do?
According to
what
Valve, the
benefits
feature
that
is routing around the game's engine's DLL files, which
Oh,
triggers the anti-cheat, and
Yep.
it bans you.
Not
So
good.
it's wild that AMD thought that this was a good way to do it.
a good solution.
But I mean, people with AMD cards were probably pretty excited for this because this is the kind of feature that is perfect for multiplayer games. And so when it came out, they're like, "Oh yeah, let's enable this." Oh, I'm sorry,
Banned.
you're banned.
Oh no.
Oof. So AMD's responded, said they are engaged with Valve to address the issue. So hopefully they get it fixed soon. Well, there you go. That's it for today. That is all of the awesome arcadey video game news we have for you. Before we sign off, though, a big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, the digital tip jar of Patreon. And if you donate $6 a month or more, Jaren has you shout out for you.
You shout out now. Thanks to
Now.
David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Football Tony. Thank you. Thanks to Upskilled Triantula, Lando, Andy Bird, be the 8-year-old, Travis Johnson.
I just
Check
don't
out
want to
the
go.
check out the new Baldur's Gate 3 custom tech stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. Jeremy, No Name No Color, Keslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, The Old Country, Nathan Motzkus, Matt Nelson. I answered that for you.
It was the old continent, Jaren. You ruined the joke.
Boom. Failed
Yeah,
failed burn.
Y'all should check out Hendrix Craftsman on Insta TikTok, me, Speechless Like a Japanese Video Game, ... Josh Dean, Dick Messerly, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd, Joe. Please cancel my subscription to your issues. Ryan M. and Adam Hecht. Thanks, everyone.
Can't cancel your subscription. I don't got any issues. Sorry. All right. Thanks so much. That's it. We'll see you next week. Oh, and take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.